Assault that happened in broad daylight, alarming students and residents, and it is a very serious situation. There was a search for this individual. There's more to this story, but we want to hear from Amelia herself because she posted this video on TikTok. What she describes is a little bit graphic, so we did beep out some of the words that she used, but let's go ahead and take a listen to how she described what happened.
I decided to make myself feel better. I feel like talking about it and letting other people know and be aware will make myself feel better. So if you're a young girl living in New York City and going to NYU, please be careful. I was just on my way this morning at 9:20 a.m. walking to class on Broadway off of Waverly Place where that Fresh and Co is. And as I'm walking with my headphones on listening to music, I feel something slapped me so hard, literally on my so hard. And I was oh my god, ow, that hurts so bad. And I was oh, I thought it was one of my friends. So I was gonna turn around and be ow, that hurt so bad, why did you do that? But when I turned around, I just saw this old white guy, and right when I turned around, he grabbed my hair like this and yanked me and threw me to the ground.
All right, so you're hearing her describe that situation there. I mean, essentially, she's saying she was walking to school and then minding her business in the middle of the day. She's not out at night. It's not coming home from the bar or anything like that. Jessica Formoso, I know you've been tracking sort of what's happening. And then also, it took a while for them to find this person, or at least the alleged suspect. I think we got the video. Yeah, there he is.
He was picked up last night.
So
this
happened
on Monday. So this happened Monday at 9:20 in the morning, Greenwich Village. She's walking to class, and the incident takes place, the attack. This here is James Rizzo, 45 years old. He was picked up by police yesterday, the alleged suspect in this attack. So he has a criminal record.
Really?
According to Fox News, we're talking about 16 prior arrests, and he was actually due back 16. In court. 16. Wow. 16 prior arrests, and he actually had to be in court for a different case coming up. And now today he will be in court. Well, he will be arraigned on this case, being charged with a few accounts. We're talking about sexual abuse, forcible touching, and charges of persistent sexual abuse. The fact that he allegedly pulls her hair, slaps her in her butt, rear end. This is why he's facing these charges. This guy, obviously, out on the streets. He has multiple priors. We're going to learn a little bit more. The DA is supposed to release exactly what these priors are. But look, a lot of people are upset about this. Why? Because how is this man back on the streets having 16 prior arrests? The girl, the lady speaking there, the student, you can see she's visibly
She was upset.
I
mean, as she should be. I mean, this is a guy who's accused of grabbing her hair, slapping her, knocking her to the ground. And when she, a brave young woman to come out and talk about it, because this isn't like an interview that anybody did.
No.
She posted that to her TikTok account where she was, very forthcoming about what happened. And she's got her headphones on. She thought maybe one of her friends was messing with her or something like that.
It was a total stranger.
Can
you imagine?
Total stranger.
And like you mentioned, this is 9:20 in the morning, and there's people there. I mean, it's not like she's walking in a lonely street. Nobody's there. I mean, there is people surrounding her, and the fact that this man allegedly thought it was okay to do such thing. He was picked up, I would say, relatively quickly by last night already, and there he is being walked. He did not say anything when he was being questioned by reporters, but we will hear more about what he did in that incident.
Some details, yeah.
Yes, and also usually when you're in court for the arraignment, we learn about other cases, especially in his case, which is 16 prior arrests.
And I think that was the first part of what Amelia Lewis, the NYU student, said there. And Adisha, I think we have another part of what she said here. So let's take a listen here.
Because I never thought this was gonna happen to me, just because I was I've seen the stories and I was oh, that's so scary, but having it actually happen now, it's oh my god, you need to be aware at all times.
You need to be aware at all times, she said. She said she's relieved that he's no longer on the street. Hopes her experience can sort of prevent other victims. And my understanding is that the NYPD authorities down there may be looking at this guy in some other attacks that may have been down there that may have been unsolved.
Same. Yeah, that's what we're hearing as well. Fox News reporting 16 prior arrests. One of the charges that he's been charged prior to this incident was also assault.
Okay.
So he's facing multiple assault charges in different cases. So I'm sure today in court we're probably going to get more details exactly when these other incidents happened. We know though that NYU was made aware of this situation, and they helped the student Amelia get in contact with detectives. So obviously also NYU alarmed with this situation, especially one of their students.
For sure. Some people may have just sort of joined us or turned the volume up with what we're talking about. Can we play that first part? The first thing that we did right off the top, Adisha, the one that
Amelia
we played.
herself?
Yeah, of Amelia herself describing what happened, and then we'll play that, and then we'll take a break. I know we got some other stuff to talk about this morning. Go ahead.
I'm kind of freaking out right now, but I decided to make myself feel better. I feel like talking about it and letting other people know and be aware will make myself feel better. So if you're a young girl living in New York City and going to NYU, please be careful. I was just on my way this morning at 9:20 a.m. walking to class on Broadway off of Waverly Place where that Fresh & Co is. And as I'm walking with my headphones on listening to music, I feel something slapped me so hard, literally on my so hard. And I was oh my god, ow, that hurts so bad. And I was I thought it was one of my friends. So I was gonna turn around and be ow, that hurt so bad, why did you do that? But when I turned around, I just saw this old white guy, and right when I turned around, he grabbed my hair like this and yanked me and threw me to the ground.
She's talking about how many people were there on the street. Just hard to hear. So they did arrest a guy, James Rizzo. He's going to have his court hearing today. So we'll
be there.
We'll keep track of that. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be there. We're going to take a quick break, Jessica, because I know you're also following what's happening with Luigi Mangione.
Yes, a case that really everyone wants to know about.
Yep.
The nation, really. Women, men, as you know, people have been packing the courthouse.
Yeah, they have. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what we should know about what's going on with Luigi Mangione. All right, it is 10:12. You're watching Newsroom Live. I'm Dan Bowens, joined with Jessica Formoso. Thank you so much, Jessica. We were just talking about that situation that happened in Lower Manhattan, NYU, and then there's also this big case that's happening down in Lower Manhattan right now. We're talking, of course, about Luigi Mangione. It's been almost a year since the shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. There, of course, was that massive manhunt that followed. Those images that first came out of the man behind the mask. And eventually he was identified as Mangione. Mangione is now facing both state and federal charges when it comes to this murder. But today we're focusing on the state case because in the state case, a lot of what they're looking at is what was discovered in the backpack.
Yes.
And sort of some of the things immediately following his arrest, because if you followed this case, you know that there was a manhunt, and eventually he's arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, correct.
And then during
At a McDonald's.
At a McDonald's. And so one of the officers who was called to the stand this week
Yep.
was one of the arresting officers.
That's correct.
What happened this week in court?
So this week we start Monday, right, is when we saw Mangione back in court. This is for what's called a pre-hearing trial. So what the defense is trying to pretty much make sure that this doesn't, the evidence thrown out is, they want specific evidence thrown out, which is the notebook that was found that day in his backpack and the gun, right? So the arresting officer in Altoona, Pennsylvania, when he approaches him, he sees Mangione at the McDonald's, and he says yesterday, which, by the way, this officer was on the stand for like hours. I'm talking over 5 hours.
Let's just take a pause there, because we were looking at that video. And, we're talking about Mangione, but in that video, you kind of scroll forward and you can see all those people outside. Yeah, I mean,
Supporters.
This is what we're seeing here. So that's important to note because, when you talk about this case, it is obviously a homicide case, but for a lot of people, it's a case that brings to mind and is about the injustice when it comes to the U.S. healthcare system, and he's become a symbol of it. So you see riding around with human rights are not political, not the death penalty. He's kind of become this symbol.
The symbol of it.
And I know in court, during these hearings, there was some disappointment from people who were there to support him because they didn't bring him down the hallway.
Right, like they
so
did
the
first time when we saw him in
the first
in
couple
court.
times. Yeah, the first couple times he comes down that way. It still hasn't really been made public as to exactly why they're bringing him in the other side. Imagine it could be possible his attorneys wanted that because when you're being paraded around in handcuffs in front of the cameras, it sort of gives this feeling of guilt already, and you're being tried publicly in the media.
I think it probably has to do more with his team, right? The defense team saying, okay, let's try not to bring so much attention to Luigi himself. I mean, we know that this is a national case already. The people outside the courthouse, inside the courthouse. I'm being told, I wasn't there yesterday, but I'm being told women with sashes that say free Luigi Mangione signs. So obviously a lot of attention. And I am amazed by like the amount of women who are in there also like supporting him. But that said, yesterday, the officer who arrested him in Altoona at that McDonald's was on the stand. I mean, for hours.
Hours?
Hours. I'm talking about over 5 hours, and they were questioning him about what exactly happened, right? So by the time he arrested him, he was questioned, pretty much the protocol that took place that day and what didn't take place. The officer says, he approached him and did ask Mangione to take off his mask. We've seen the video of him masked up in that surgical blue mask.
Yep.
When he does that, when he pulls down the mask, the officer says right away, within 2 seconds, he knew that was the guy that the NYPD was looking for.
No doubt about it.
So he had no doubt. Then he did ask Luigi, allegedly, can I see your ID? What's your name and your ID? He claims, the officer says, that Luigi Mangione handed him over a fake New Jersey ID with the name of Mark Rosario.
Okay.
And that's what he identified, that he was Mark Rosario.
So he's already allegedly lied to the police at that point.
Right.
Okay.
And that is key, because that is what prosecutors are holding on to, because what the defense is alleging is saying, okay, you guys did not read his Miranda rights. It took about like 17 to 20 minutes before his rights were read. And when they searched that backpack, it was searched without a search warrant.
Okay.
But what prosecutors are saying was, all right, well, we arrested him not because he was tied to New York City, but because he lied to us and gave us a fake ID and said he was somebody who he wasn't. Although, at that point, the officer was sure, he says, that it was Luigi Mangione.
And in this case, obviously you have a high-profile killing. You have someone who may or may not have a weapon in their backpack. So they take the backpack, they sort of move it off to the side.
Yes.
And during the testimony, the officer did say, no, I did not have a search warrant to look inside that backpack. And I know the defense team has said, if the backpack was to the side, you had these officers here, at that moment, he wasn't going to be a threat. You needed to get a search warrant to look in that backpack. And you mentioned it. I mean, the things in there, potential murder weapon, a notebook, which some have described as a manifesto. And this manifesto is supposed to describe reasons why this killing would have happened. So these are very damning pieces of evidence.
Right, and that's why the defense wants that out. And even what he told cops that day, police officers that day too, they want some of the statements also thrown out as well. Is this going to happen? I mean, we actually spoke to a defense attorney. He's also a former prosecutor, Peter Frankel. He's not on the defense team at all. He just has been following the case, and he talks about this. He talks about if the defense really has a leg to stand on. Take a listen.
Okay, so we have that sound there.
The district attorney's office is going to argue that before they rummaged through Mr. Mangione's backpack, they placed him under arrest for, which happens to be a crime in Pennsylvania, not here in New York, for false ID or for saying that he was someone else. So that's really going to be kind of the focus. I think that the judge is going to have to decide whether or not the police ultimately had a right to go through the knapsack, but it was 7 hours of testimony from this one witness who, in excruciating detail, went through from A to Z everything that transpired, his interactions with Mr. Mangione, body-worn camera video so that you could actually see in the courtroom what transpired. Very, very detailed. The standard is custodial interrogation. So if someone, a reasonable person, feels innocent of a crime, that they are in custody and they're being interrogated, you have to read them their Miranda warnings. In this particular case, custody doesn't mean handcuffs, because you can see in the video 10 officers basically surrounding him while he's being questioned. So it's going to be a challenge for the court to kind of decide whether or not some of the statements pre-Miranda, eventually he was read as Miranda warnings, should be thrown out or not. The law has to meet the facts, and it's going to be up to the judge to determine whether or not there were constitutional violations, some of which I honestly, from what I've seen and read, I think there were.
And that's kind of some of the details of it. And I know what Peter has said previously is even if half this stuff gets thrown out, there's still so much evidence, there's still so much video, there's still a lot of things theoretically that would work against the defense. But look, they already had a couple victories in front of this judge with throwing out some of the terrorism charges and other particular things that had happened previously. So if you're his defense team, you're trying to work at every possible angle here to sort of chip away. So that's what it looks like.
And just to go back to what happened in court yesterday, you know, not only was it the testimony from the officer, but also the body cam footage that the officer was wearing, right? So that was also played in court, which shows the officer approaching him, and then the other officers also. It wasn't just one officer; it was a handful of officers who end up going to the McDonald's. And the officer does say, though, like, "Hey, I didn't question him about the New York City shooting. I didn't even mention. The only thing he mentions." He said was, have you recently been in New York? But he says, I never mentioned anything about the shooting. He even asked him, like, hey, what are you eating right now? And said, oh, I like to eat, it was like some steak, whatever, burger or whatever it was. And the officer's making small talk, like, oh, I like to eat that too. So it was a very, you know, back and forth, very nonchalant conversation.
He was free to go if he wanted to, but then it's kind of, if there's all those officers there. How the judge is going to rule on this, I mean, it's hard to say. Even Peter Frankel says it there, you know, do they have a chance? Maybe. Again, the law in Pennsylvania is different than the law here. Maybe here for showing a fake ID, the NYPD wouldn't necessarily arrest you. In Pennsylvania, they did. So I think that's where the prosecution is holding on to. It's the difference between specifics and details and just a kind of, I don't want to say common sense, but kind of like, if this is, we think this is the guy, like we're going to just take him. Well, either way, the judge's decision on whether that evidence can or cannot be used is going to drastically reshape the prosecutor's case, especially if it's thrown out. But a long way to go. They're not in court today. Are they in court tomorrow? No, yes. So tomorrow they go back. It would be day 3 today. They took a break. Obviously, they'll hear more testimony, see more video. Like I said, I mean, just one officer yesterday for hours. So this isn't something that is in and out from court. And one thing to mention too, I wasn't there, but Lisa was there and a couple of other colleagues, and they were talking about how tired Luigi looked yesterday. Well, you know. It's been a long couple months, almost a year actually since.
But then you see him smiling, and then you see him like very, you know, concentrating on what the judge is saying, what the defense team is saying, what the prosecution is saying.
I know part of what he's also argued. If you go to his website, they want all of the evidence to be turned over, and there's been some complaints about how it's being slowed down because he wants to review it and he's asked for a laptop. He's been given a laptop. He's looking at it anyway.
Which who was it? It was on one of our shows. One of the lawyers. What's his name? He was on Good Day yesterday. I mean, on Monday with Rosanna.
Arthur Idol.
Yes, that he saw him in.
Yeah, he saw him in federal lockup when he had it,
at the jail, and saw that he had his laptop, and is going through evidence and emails and all that. I mean, he said he was like kind of isolated there, which is very interesting and intriguing. I would love to be inside his mind. Like, what is he thinking? I think everybody does, and I think that's what has so many people fascinated with this case.
100%. Be careful in there. All right, it is 10:23, Newsroom Live. We got to take a break. And when we come back, Governor Kathy Hochul was on our show this morning, and she's got some pretty good news about cell phones and the ban that they had in New York. Have you heard about that?
I didn't. I hear it's actually working.
Yeah, that's what they claim. So we'll hear from the governor.
As a parent, I think I have to say, I think I agree.
Yeah. And then, DJ, can we show a little soccer right here?
Because, tomorrow's a big day.
Yeah, this week we got a big World Cup draw. Do you know who this guy is who's about to score right here? Do you know right here? Do you know who that is?
I can't see him.
Landon Donovan.
Oh, he's going to... how did you get him?
He's going to be on this broadcast in about 20 minutes. He's over at MetLife Stadium. He's doing something with soccer
you texted
cards.
him?
We got people who know people, Mio. Anyway, we'll be right back. Thank you, Jessica. All right, it is 10:26 here on a Wednesday morning. You can see we got our big board up here, all kinds of different elements that are happening in New York City today. One of the things that we're looking at, if you look at the top corner, Adisha, the Live View 4 is a rally that's happening right now. This is a rally all about the rights when it comes to, all about some of the rules when it comes to Con Ed. Not just here in the city where we're looking at a great view of the Brooklyn Bridge, but Live View 4, they're doing this rally outside today where they're trying to change some of the rules when it comes to Con Ed and lower the prices. Let's just peek into here just for a second and take a listen.
Oh, that's nuts, isn't it? That means we're paying more on our energy bills to double down on gas infrastructure that's already too expensive and is only going up. Part of the reason we're outside Con Edison today is because even they are supporting legislation to repeal the outdated 100-foot rule and move us toward a more affordable future. Woo! Folks, it's not very often that lawmakers, advocates, and utilities can agree on a solution to lower our energy bills. And thanks to the work of the folks here today, Albany lawmakers finally took action this past legislative session and passed the 100-foot rule to repeal it. That means it's up to Governor Hochul to end the 100-foot rule, to get rid of this bogus extra charge on our bills and save New Yorkers money. And as the Trump administration keeps gutting federal programs that fill the gap for New Yorkers struggling to pay their bills, relief couldn't come any sooner. Thankfully, we're almost there. The governor already said she's considering signing it, and now she just needs to finish the job. Folks, repealing the 100-foot rule is a no-brainer. It's got the support of lawmakers, utilities, advocates, and everyday New Yorkers who know we can't keep going on like this. It's time for Governor Hochul to deliver for New Yorkers and repeal the 100-foot rule now. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce our champion in the legislature, Assemblymember Jessica Gonzalez-Rojas.
Welcome to my district, everybody. My name is Assemblymember Jessica Gonzalez-Rojas, and we are gathered here in front of Con Edison to call on Governor Hochul to sign the bill repealing the 100-foot rule. I love 100-grand bars, but I do not love the fact that it is representative of the $581 million that we are spending to expand fracked fossil fuel infrastructure. Con Edison supports eliminating the 100-foot rule, as does the community, because it is us, it is ratepayers, it is community members, it is neighbors that are standing here before you that are paying that cost. And in a moment where affordability is front of center of everyone's mind, and people are struggling to make ends meet as the weather drops, it's deeply cold tonight, heating bills are going up, and people do not need to continue to pay for fracked fossil fuel infrastructure. So we want to thank Con Ed for their support, but mostly it's the people that have stood and fought. The 100-foot rule elimination was part of a larger bill called the New York Heat Act that we have been fighting for relentlessly for years. The full Heat Act has not passed, but many in the Senate and in the Assembly agreed that we must eliminate the 100-foot rule. We heard that Governor Hochul is very open to this. So as we approach the end of the year where her deadline to sign bills is approaching, we are urging her. The people are with you. We need to save money in this moment that's so difficult for all New Yorkers. We know you care about affordability. We know you care about
They think they're talking to a human
They talk
because they're kids.
They think they're talking to a human, and so moms and dads, we got to be aware of what's going on. These threats were not there when we were growing up. So I'm going to continue educating, but also passing laws to protect.
Rosanna.
We've had. We did a lot of training with our school districts, talked to teachers, talked to students. So it's literally starting in September. This was a whole new game in classrooms.
We're hearing my kids are actually talking.
All right, it is 10:33 here on a Wednesday morning. We actually do have a little bit of good news. A lot of times we're sort of talking about some of the terrible things that happen in the city. Of course, we have to report on them because it's very important. But we do have some good news that's here in the tri-state area. It is up on our Live View 5. This is a high school student in Newark, New Jersey from Malcolm X Shabazz's football program. His name is Zayden McDonald, and he's committing to Stanford University. I believe this is his coach talking right now. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
I want to see you surpass him, all right? Your mom, she's the glue. She keeps things together, and it worked out for you. For your teammates, look at them. I was here a year ago. It was only 3 of us. Today, you got your whole team, your coaching staff, and everybody here to support you. The administration team, security, custodians. It's really a village here at Malcolm X Shabazz. Believe in it, and you one of the people that helped change this place here today, man. I'm just honored to be a coach. Go be great. Go represent us. God is real.
It's time to hear from the man of the hour. Let's give it up for Zayden McDonald. Just so you know, Zayden will speak, and then after that, he'll officially sign his letter, and then we'll take some pictures, and then we'll do interviews after the pictures.
All right, so I just want to start off by just thanking everybody for coming out to see me sign today. It means a lot to me that everybody cares and loves about me, and it just means a lot to me. And first off, I want to start off by thanking my teammates. Just coming out, watching me sign, it means a lot to me, bro. We did a lot together. We have a game today. We're gonna go out and win, beat Camden today, and it means a lot. I love y'all boys. I know y'all love me too. And next, I just want to say thank you to my teacher. I know some of them not here. Mr. Aberdeen in the back. Thank you so much, Mr. Aberdeen, for everything you've done with me with Stanford, helping me get in. And my teachers, they did a lot for me, just giving me the resources. Only giving me the time, the care, the love, just giving me the resources for school and to help me get into Stanford. It wasn't impossible with all these teachers at Malcolm X Shabazz. Next, I want to thank the coaching staff, Coach Hewitt, Coach Big Body Gaines, Nasir Gaines Sr., Coach Chris, Coach Alfair, everybody in the crowd, for just molding me into the young man I am today. It wasn't easy becoming the person I am now. Everybody decided to be more vocal, more of a leader, and I feel like you guys did that for me. Coach Hewitt was turning up the heat. It's good. Everything was good. Coach A.J. Dobson teaching me just all the basics of being a true athlete, a true player. And yeah, thank you, coaches as well. And next, I want to personally thank A.D. Cologne and Dr. Buckman for everything they did for me, just letting me come in and be a brand ambassador for Malcolm X Shabazz. They didn't have to trust me. They didn't have to let me take this role of being a brand ambassador and being who I am for Shabazz, but I just want to thank them as well. And lastly, I want to thank my family, my support staff, my mom and my dad. It means a lot to me. It's a lot of sacrifice. Yeah, it means a lot. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of time being wasted, but I appreciate you guys just for just being able to spend time with me and really sacrifice, really put your time and y'all love it to me. It means a lot to me.
We love you. We love you.
And for my family that's in the side, thank you for coming as well.
Take your time. Take your time.
It really truly means a lot that to show that, because everybody don't have stuff like this. Everybody doesn't have a family. Everybody doesn't have people that really can spend time and really sacrifice for them, that put their time, their money, their effort all into this stuff. So I really appreciate my family as well. They really made it happen for me. So with that being said, I feel like I'm ready to sign to the Stanford University. There it is. It's officially official.
So again, we are looking at a very special moment out there in Newark, New Jersey. We were just sort of following what's happening all across the New York City area today. We saw that pop up on one of our video monitors, so we wanted to bring it to you live. We could probably show it a little bit, kind of picture-in-picture kind of thing. I don't know if we can do that. Yeah, you could see it. It's going to be up on the top corner, the top right corner. You can see Live View 5 up there, the top right-hand corner. That is Malcolm X Shabazz football. Zayden McDonald. He is a star football player out of Newark, and he is signed to Stanford University. Was a really special moment to be able to bring that to you live, because it is a emotional time for him and his family. And so we wish him all the best as he goes on to play Division I football at one of the best schools in the country, whether it's on the field or off the field in the classroom. Stanford University, congratulations to him and his family. And we will take that to a break. When we come back, we still got a lot going on here. If you're sticking with us, we got Governor Kathy Hochul talking about the cell phone ban. And then I think we could probably show Live View 3, which is input 2 there for you. You see this? Panini. Now, we're not talking about food. We're talking about Panini. It's a card trading, baseball card, soccer card trading company. And so for today, we are talking about those trading cards. In just a few minutes, in front of this very screen that we have right here, it's going to be U.S. soccer legend Landon Donovan, who will be joining us. He's going to be talking about what he's doing with Panini and also what he thinks we should expect from the U.S. Men's Soccer World Cup draw, which is going to be happening on Friday right here on Fox. We'll be right back. Paul, can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can, just throw a thumbs up in front of the camera. All right, good. So, Paul, are you in like a hallway of MetLife? Like you're in MetLife, obviously. You're just not on a field, like in kind of a back room? Oh, okay. All right. So it's like a suite. We can stay with this for a second too. Paul, if you can hear me, just kind of spin around. Maybe we look at MetLife, and I can talk a little bit about that. And because he's going to be coming up. No, hold on, Paul. Wait, because we're not back yet. Just wait for my my cue. Because we got about 40 seconds. He's not there yet, so I'll probably filibuster with this, and then I might have to go to something else and then come back. $30 seconds. All right, we're taking a live look back out here. Where are we? What are we looking at there? Do you see some of those names up in the rafters, in the bleachers there? Yeah, those are the Jets legends that we're seeing up there. And we're inside MetLife Stadium. Obviously, we can kind of spin around a little bit if we can there. Paul, we could take a look inside MetLife. What are we doing inside MetLife today? Well, today we're going to have a very special guest in just a few minutes. U.S. soccer legend Landon Donovan is inside the stadium today. He is talking about some of the trading cards that will be available as we get ready for the FIFA World Cup. The FIFA World Cup, of course, will be right here on Fox. And we are also going to be covering the big World Cup draw this weekend. Why should I care about the World Cup draw? Well, the World Cup draw will, A, help us determine what teams will be playing out there at MetLife Stadium when the big tournament happens later on this year. And then we'll also kind of find out where Team USA is going to play, where Argentina is going to play. We know that in New York we've got a diverse, rich culture here, so we've got all kinds of different countries represented just right here in New York. So we know that Brazilian fans, the English fans, the German fans, the Spanish fans, even some of the smaller countries, Curaçao, that qualified this year, definitely have representation here in New York. So we're expecting Landon Donovan. He's going to join us in probably next couple minutes, and when he does, we will be talking to him about everything that's going on. We're also going to be talking to our guy Mike Woods in just a little while, because Mike is he's actually, I believe he's at his apartment. So we don't have his video right now, but he's at his apartment, so we're going to talk to him in just a couple minutes. For now, though, let's do a little bit of news while we wait for some of that stuff to unfold. And we could talk about what's going on in New York City, especially when it comes to the cell phone bans in schools, because you know what? Governor Kathy Hochul says the cell phone ban in school is working, and kids are kind of talking to each other again. Let's take a listen to what she said this morning on Good Day New York with Kurt and Rosanna.
So what have you found out about the cell phone ban?
Well, the results are what I expected, but I had to persuade the rest of the state. I have been traveling around for almost 2 years, gathering teenagers and having forums with parents and understanding that our kids are really in the throes of a mental health crisis. And you ask, why is this happening now? I mean, we know teenage years are always tough. We live through that. But it really is the presence of a cell phone that all day long in school is taking you to a dark place. Or you're being mocked out or bullied by other kids, or the girls are meeting in the restroom and they're excluding you and you're stressed out about that, or they're making plans for a party on a Friday. These are all the stories I heard. And I said, you know what? We have to do something. And I talked to school boards and superintendents and teachers. No one wanted to take it on because the fear of the backlash from parents or students, and we just want to teach. We don't want to get in the middle of this. And I said, you know what? I'm a mom. I'm used to getting blamed for everything. Blame me. I will take this on behalf of the kids of this state. And I am so delighted about the cooperation we've had. We did a lot of training with our school districts, talked to teachers, talked to students. So it's literally starting in September. This was a whole new game in classrooms.
Yeah, we're hearing like kids are actually talking to one another. But also, Governor, you know about the studies. I mean, the studies with these kids with cell phones, I mean, they're finding, you know, if they have them before they're 12 years old, they're depressed, they're overweight. There's so many things. Do you have more plans with the cell phone ban? What are you going to do next?
Well, the ban was dramatic. I mean, we're the largest state in America that went literally bell to bell. I mean, some say you can use it during recess or during lunch. That defeats the purpose, because I have kids talking to each other during lunch now and making eye contact and playing games. They're bringing board games to recess. I think this is fabulous. And so we're letting kids be kids again. So don't underestimate the power of this. I think every state should do this. Absolutely. But we're also looking at the addictive algorithms that they're being bombarded with from social media companies. And we're the first state in the nation last year to ban this, to say that unless the parents consent, you cannot be sending all this unsolicited information to your kids. So, for example, a student looks up suicide. They're having dark thoughts. They want to look for a place that maybe give them some advice. It'll tell you how to commit suicide instead of giving you the relief you're looking for, the support you're looking for. So we have to protect our kids. Number one job, and I'm committed to this all the way through. We're going to have some new ideas in my state of the state, even those AI companions where kids think.
All right, so that was Governor Kathy Hochul this morning on Good Day, talking about some of the great things that have been happening with the cell phones in the schools, and basically that they're not allowed to have those cell phones in the schools. We got two things that we're still going to try to get to here for the rest of this broadcast. I think before we go to break, we should check in with Mike, because look at this guy. Mike, where are you?
I made it. We're playing with technology here, Dan.
What's going on?
And I'm able to go from home. We figured out how to do the home studio. I just thought I'd do a little weather check-in live. This is my apartment here in the West Village. And, you know, with technology, we can now do this from home as well. Oh, I think okay, so if the orientation flipped, I think that was... because, well, I haven't figured the whole thing out yet.
You went a little sideways.
I don't know. There's certain ways. This is what the madness is all about. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm going to figure this out. Boom!
There you go. We're back.
You know,
Mike.
And we're back.
Mike.
But yeah, figuring out technology, how to work with this. Go ahead, Dan.
Great spot you got. Mike, we wanted to sort of just check to see if this was going to work for us. Mike, we just got like a minute. Just real quick, what should people know? I know you're inside. It's nice and warm. What should people know about what's happening with the weather today?
So what's happening with the weather today is we are still looking at another. Like we're going to see it kind of on the breezy side, but as we get toward tomorrow, there might be a few quick flurries. We have an Arctic blast that's going to be coming through here. So maybe a few flurries for you tomorrow. And then on Friday, that's going to be a bitterly cold day. High temperature only around 33 degrees, but at least for the most part, it's a fair sky. It doesn't look like that big of a deal coming through other than those cold temperatures. That part, we can't help you.
Love it. Mike Woods, we got to run. Thank you so much. I wish we could talk more because I need to know everything that's happening in that apartment there. I see 2 Emmy Awards, so you got that going for you. We got to take a break because we have a super special guest here at Newsroom Live. He's up on our big board, and I think he can probably hear me. Landon Donovan, can you hear us? Yeah, there we go. All right, so Landon, we're going to come back. There he is, Landon. Yes, the U.S. soccer legend. Come on, man, Landon Donovan. What is up? We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about everything you're doing out there at MetLife, and of course, what's happening with the World Cup this week. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Newsroom Live. It is 10:52 here on this Wednesday morning. You can see we got our big board up here. All the video monitors happen all throughout the tri-state area, but I want to focus on Live View 3, and that is where Landon Donovan, U.S. soccer legend, is this morning. He's at MetLife Stadium. Good morning to you, sir. How you doing out there?
Good morning, guys. It is absolutely beautiful out here. I know you just did the weather. It is stunning out here. Beautiful.
Landon, I just want to ask you, you look fantastic. Are you doing something different? Are you doing something a little different there? Like,
Good question.
Yeah, what's going on?
I got a new hair system put in. I used to be really bald, and now I got a new hair thing going on. So now I look young. My wife likes me again.
You look spectacular. So it's very exciting what you got going on out there right now. I want to talk about Panini in just a second, but first, if we could, I want to go back to 2010 because there was a morning where I left work early. We went to the bar along with a whole bunch of other USA soccer fans, and here it was. That moment, you're leading the breakaway. There's a ricochet. It comes back. Dempsey can't get it. Yes! Bottom left corner. Can you I mean, what was that moment like for you? Come on, that was fantastic.
I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm minimizing it, but in that moment, I'm doing my job, right? I'm on the field, I'm in the moment, I'm caught up in, I'm doing my job. But what happened after was the realization that it was a pretty special moment, certainly in the soccer world, and I think in the sports world for our country.
And a lot of people have said that was, at that moment, that was the biggest moment in U.S. soccer history. You guys finished at the top of your group. You move on to the next round, and it kind of felt like U.S. soccer had arrived. I mean, U.S. soccer was there at that moment.
Yeah, and for our sport, Major League Soccer has now become much more prominent than it was in the past, but for our sport, really every 4 years was the opportunity to showcase ourselves and make an impact, and it's no different than this coming summer. You have an opportunity that it's almost like the Olympics, where you have to take advantage of this moment, and fortunately in 2010 we were, and I hope in 2026 now we have some guys that do the same thing.
And let's talk about 2026 because they have the big World Cup draw that's going to happen this week. On Friday on Fox.
Yep.
And luckily, I mean, because we're the host, U.S. is a host country, they end up in that first pot. What are your expectations with this team this year?
Yeah, so we're very fortunate. When you're the host country, you end up in the first pot. And for people who don't know, there are 4 different pots, and the top pot is all the best teams in the world, top-ranked teams. We cannot play any of them in our group, so we're going to get a team from the second pot, third pot, and fourth pot being the worst teams in the World Cup. So the draw will be really interesting. It'll be on Fox. I'll be there on Friday at DC, and we'll see who we're going to play. So the World Cup goes from this sort of theoretical to, wow, this is very real for the players, coaches, the staff, everybody who's preparing logistics. All of a sudden it becomes very real.
And how do you think this team is prepared? Obviously they have a new coach, and they have sort of some of the players who've been there for a long time, Pulisic and Weston McKennie and some of those guys. I mean, how do you think this team is sort of doing as we get ready? We still got a long way to go getting toward the Cup.
We do have a long way to go, but the team, I think, only has 4 more games left, 2 in March and 2 before the World Cup. So there's not a lot of time in that way. If you had asked me this question 6 months ago, I would say I'm not real optimistic in the moment, but they are on a, I believe, six-game unbeaten streak. They just beat Uruguay, who finished second in qualifying in South America, beat them 5-1 a couple weeks ago. The team is really, really starting to play well, so I think people should be excited about this team.
And obviously when there's excitement, there's sometimes you get a little swag that comes with it, and maybe you want a trading card, maybe you want to sort of invest in the moment in a different way. And Panini will unveil the next evolution of its FIFA World Cup sticker collection today at MetLife, a couple months before the big tournament. Obviously you're a part of that. What's today all about?
Yeah, well, first of all, my 8-year-old, I don't know if you have kids, but my 8-year-old is obsessed with these cards. And so we asked them if they would send a box to our house. It came. We're going to give it to them for Christmas. Obsessed. I was too. I learned so much through Panini trading cards about players, teams, countries I didn't know existed, and players I didn't know existed when I was a kid. So today we get to see the cover. This is the first time they're ever having a cover for the host country. They usually don't do that. So between the U.S. and Canada, we're going to have, I don't even know what it is. There's going to be an exciting cover. And I think people who follow this stuff closely and love the World Cup, this is a huge moment. I sit with my kids at home. We lay on the ground. We open the packs. We put the stickers on to each team. It's really fun.
And you're sort of right. I mean, Panini stickers, they can kind of be a gateway for young fans into collecting, introduces them to the players, familiarity. And so, I mean, are there cards that your kids are like, who do they look forward to getting? I mean, you could say USA guys, but it's okay if you don't. I mean, who are the ones that...
No, I ask them this all the time, or I say, if we're going to go watch a game at MetLife, MetLife has 8 games next summer, who would you want to see? And it's all the usuals: Portugal, Cristiano, Erling Haaland, who's a star for Man City and Norway. Of course, they want to see the U.S. team. But I think you know, I just, as I think back to this, the two moments that gave me validity with my friends were the first time I was on a FIFA soccer video game cover, and the first time I had a sticker of a Panini card after I had played in the Olympics, World Cup, and the guys were like, whatever. Once those two things happened, I was actually legitimized. So it's an exciting day, an exciting moment, and I know my kids are excited, and I know there's millions of kids around the world who are really looking forward to this.
I know you got a busy morning. I just want to ask you just sort of one question. Obviously, you're out there with Panini, these stickers unveiling this sort of new line that's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to get a look at it. But a lot of it, and you sort of were hinting at it, is there's this generation that was raised on the 1994 team, Lawless, Balboa, some of those guys. And then there's this sort of generation that kind of comes about with your crew, Dempsey and Donovan. And now we have this sort of new thing. And soccer isn't this sort of like foreign concept at all in the U.S. It's big business in some ways. Like, where do you see U.S. soccer right now, even at a youth level, as sort of things are panning out here?
Yeah, you painted that picture well. In '94, I didn't even know that world existed. I went to my first World Cup game in the Rose Bowl, Argentina against Romania, and until that day, I had no idea this world existed. When you cut to today, my kids, I just called my kid, he's wearing an Austin FC jersey. My other son's wearing a Cristiano jersey. It's everywhere. When I go to school, kids are wearing soccer jerseys everywhere. It is going to be the biggest sporting event in the history of the world next year, and it's right here on our shores, and I think people are really excited about it. So it's been really fun to be a part of the growth of the game in this country, and there's still a long way to go, so it's exciting.
All right, Landon Donovan, U.S. soccer legend, thank you so much for the time, helping us relive that magical moment in 2010. I just admitted to my bosses that I left work a little early. I was supposed to be sick there. Anyway, let's not get into it. Landon,
heard that.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Good luck today.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
All right. That was awesome. I never thought I'd get to talk to Landon Donovan here. All right. Well, you know what? We extended our show a little bit so that we could get this interview in. We were looking forward to doing that. So we appreciate the time. But I think we're going to wrap it up. I mean, what else are we supposed to do here? We just talked to Landon Donovan. You got the World Cup draw this week. It's going to be on Fox. And we could take one last look of our great city as we take a look outside today. It is, Lady Liberty. What's going on? I'm Dan Bowens. You've been watching Newsroom Live. We appreciate you.
walks up to a customer with a scanner and they didn't pay, they start to write you a ticket, and the customer walks away or gets off the.
We have a lot of ways of dealing. That challenge exists right now in various parts of our system. The folks who don't produce ID and don't cooperate are subject to very different kinds of penalties than just a mere ticket. So you start to put yourself in a police enforcement situation, not just a civil summons that goes to the tab board. So we have that challenge, but I think people are going to start to get the message. We're not going to change the world overnight, but predictable enforcement with modern technology is where I think that New Yorkers want to see this head.
All right, and closing it out, Greg Mocker from Ticket Chairman. 11, Greg.
Could we talk about the evolution of the changing turnstiles? We see one example here. I remember being with you in Jamaica when something like a door was being tested. And
Right, you're going to see them all start to pop up around the system in the next month or two. And you can see, listen, we've tested them around the world. They are not absolutely perfectly impenetrable. This is not, Ocean's 11 with the bank boat, but what they are is a very different level of physical deterrence for people who are trying to get in for free. And they've worked well in deployments in Washington and out west at a couple locations. And I've seen them in European locations. We think they can make a difference, and we've got big money in our new capital program to install new fare gates at 100-plus stations that represent more than 75% of our total ridership in the next 5 years. So we're serious about this. We're going to make the fare gate a little harder to mess with.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
This is the off-the-record follow-up?
Are you rolling it? They're going to roll it back there. I got to stay up for a while. Can I get some thoughts?
Yes, but they were sent in all of the, the FNM swab and all that kind of thing, which is which also customers are being educated on this, we have a lot of people out there that are better.
Were you aware of this? I'm just curious, did you know about the upcoming FM swap that starts on Monday?
FM swap. They swapped once before, they're swapping again.
Right.
So now I'm going to take the M to here, and the
F will go through the 53rd Street tunnel
and
instead.
that happens at the other end as well, the whole thing. For some reason, they decided M was more like
because
F.
of the switch, they say it was causing delays. So this way, by having the lines switch back, then the M goes unobstructed, as opposed to waiting for another train.
So will there still be a train going to 7th Street and 6th Avenue?
Yes, but it'll be the M now, not the F. Does it make sense for you?
It happened before, and it was confusing, but now I guess I'll be slightly confused again.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Goodbye.
stuff going to Manhattan.
Right, it'll be
It'll
the
be the M
end.
train, right? I heard about that. Yeah, they did mention that. I did hear them mention that.
Does it affect you in any way?
Yeah, it does, because I got to go to uptown. This doesn't go to 63rd and Lex. So
you got to figure out a new
I got to
route?
figure out another. I got to go further down to 42nd to transfer instead of right here at 63rd to catch the Q and transfer at 14th Street.
So are you a fan of this?
No, not at all.
Thanks very
Thank
much.
you very
man.
much.
Be well. Service changes start this month. Service changes start this month.
so great to see so many great partners here today. I'd like to welcome all of you from the press, our family, our Panini family of partners and friends, retailers, our players, FIFA who will be joining us by link soon, and all of our distinguished guests for attending. Thank you. I'd like to first acknowledge that our Panini America CEO, Mark Warthop, was scheduled to be here, but unfortunately had a family emergency, so had to fly back home. So instead, you got me. I'm Jason Howarth. I'm the Senior VP of Marketing and Athlete Relations for Panini America. I've been with Panini for 16 years, and this will be my 5th FIFA World Cup with Panini and 7th overall. When Adidas was my client, I watched the U.S. women's team win that epic final at the Rose Bowl, which altered the landscape in the United States. And then in 2002, when Gillette was my client on the ground in Japan for World Cup. So we're super excited for this event to finally be here. As Landon reminded some of us yesterday, we're 100 days away from the start of the FIFA World Cup here in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. 100. Yeah, you said 190. I said 190. I'll get it. Yeah. Play it back.
You're right. You are right. You are the bullshit.
No.
Whatever you
That's
say.
not true. So that will, in 190 days, that will no doubt change the sports landscape again here in the United States. And Panini's excited to play a part of that. Panini first launched the official World Cup sticker collection in 1970 when the tournament was hosted in Mexico. And soccer has been a backbone of our company since its founding in 1961. Since our very first launch, Panini has proudly produced the official FIFA World Cup sticker collection every 4 years, bringing joy and excitement to tens of millions of fans all over the world. In fact, in more than 120 countries. That's a total of 14 FIFA World Cup sticker collections over 55 years. Panini has been woven into the fan culture and tradition of the FIFA World Cup, creating generations of fans who collected FIFA World Cup stickers, swapped and traded stickers with their friends, and hoped that one of those few remaining stickers they needed to complete their album was in that next Panini FIFA World Cup sticker pack they opened. It's been truly inspiring as a marketer to witness the Panini FIFA World Cup sticker phenomenon, to see how organic and authentic it is to the FIFA World Cup, how it sets up the energy to the start of the FIFA World Cup, and what it means to so many people, including the celebrities that collect them and the players on the stickers. From creating a sticker of the Pope to listening to the late, great Kobe Bryant talk about how special it was to collect the Panini FIFA World Cup sticker collection as a kid growing up in Italy, and then helping us launch that Panini FIFA World Cup 2014 sticker collection. The Panini Group formed Panini America in 2009, and our first full FIFA World Cup sticker collection in the U.S. was in 2010. It's been incredible to see the growth of soccer in North America since then, and to see our annual soccer sales rival those of the big U.S. sports. Incredibly, despite the digital era, Panini has successfully increased its sales each FIFA World Cup tournament, and in 2026 will be no exception. We've been waiting for this FIFA World Cup tournament here in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. We have a massive launch plan for the North American market, where we'll give away for free more than 1 billion stickers into the hands of soccer fans and collectors just in the U.S. alone. We've planted our flag. We're striving for North America to become the largest market for our FIFA World Cup sticker collection, and there's no better way to kick that off than with the reveal of our exclusive FIFA World Cup album cover for the U.S. and Canada. In a few minutes, we'll reveal that cover with the help of some of our players here in attendance, and that will be followed by some brief photos, followed by a panel discussion inside where it's warmer, hosted by our friend Kay Adams, with Landon Donovan, Pavel Pardo, Julian de Guzman, representing all 3 host countries. Once again, thank you for taking the time to join us. And now from the FIFA Summit in Washington, D.C., it's my pleasure to introduce you to Romy Guy, the Chief Business Business Officer of FIFA.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Hi, Romy. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Romy, we can hear you. We can hear you. You can go. I think your video is frozen, but we can hear you.
From walk to DC, where we are preparing growth that is planned for Friday. And while I wish I could be obviously with you today at the Metro State, that is the venue that not promised to be an unforgettable Hall of Fame World Cup final. It's also the launchpad for something equally iconic. It is the Panini America FIFA World Cup.
Did he just black? He popped up. Oh! No. Don't hit that button. We have a plan. We're not hitting that button. All right. Well, Romy does have a lot of great things to say about our relationship with FIFA and Panini. I'm sorry, his signal is low over there in DC. But at this time, I'd like to call up our players. So Landon, Pavel, Julian, and Jaden, if you're here, and Betta, please join me up here at the front. So we're here. He's back on.
Pushing the button.
We can have him back on. Yeah.
This is like deal or no deal.
Yeah, don't push the button yet. I think we're getting Romy back here. So we'll let him finish. If